Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we are on the Pioneer server and we're gonna go through all the Celestial Hypogean heroes, their magic charm quality bonus that they're gonna have this season. This is really important because there are key heroes here, for example Phraesto, the twins, even Reinier, Talene, that a lot of people have built up and they want to see how good are they gonna be for Dream Realm or various other content in this season. So we're gonna begin with the Celestial faction, beginning with Athalia. So Athalia has a very unique mythic charm quality bonus. When casting an ultimate, she's going to deal 180% attack multiplier damage to all enemies, not only her target, and plus extra damage equal to 20% of the target's lost health, and the extra damage cannot exceed 120% attack multiplier. So at the maximum, this will be 180 plus 120, which is 300% attack multiplier to all enemies, which is definitely powerful for a hero who already has high base attacks such as Athalia. Additionally, the caster restores 80 energy and 150% attack multiplier's health. And if you want to know how much health that actually is, 150% attack multiplier is usually around 20% of your entire health bar as healing. And this will happen each time Athalia gets an assist or defeat of a non-summoned enemy. And Athalia will be getting kills early on into the match, giving her this healing as well as energy restoration to cast her ultimate a little bit quicker. And you guys know Athalia's ultimate is one of her hardest hitting damage nukes. So definitely this is suited for PvP. However, for Dream Realm, this is not going to be very good because you're not going to be able to get an assist or a defeat in almost every Dream Realm or boss content. And also, it is mainly damage to all enemies. And in a boss, you only have one single target. So it's kind of wasted if you only have one single target. But this will make her stronger in PvP for sure. It is a solid magic charm quality bonus. Okay, we have Scarlita, who has been upgraded with the Supreme Plus skill upgrade. But honestly speaking, it is not enough to make her relevant, in my honest opinion, and because you're still fighting a 4v5 when you run Scarlita in PvP, and her upgrade is just not enough. She's not impactful enough for those initial seconds that you're probably better off running another hero rather than Scarlita. Anyway, a mythic magic charm quality bonus will increase her damage dealt by 20% at base, and it will increase by an extra 10% every 10 seconds, up to a total increase of 100%. So she's going to ramp up over the duration of a battle, and this is good for long drawn out fights. For example, AFK stages where you can have up to 90 seconds, Dream Realm boss content where you have up to 90 seconds. However, the problem is I don't think this is still going to be enough to make her a valid damage dealer for Dream Realm, because you have so many great options for damage dealers now, and Scarlita is really kind of lacking in her damage. So even if she gets a massive damage boost from this charm quality bonus, I find it unlikely it will be enough. But definitely, this is getting her close to having some potential to use, maybe at least for Ravage Realm at the end of the season. After 60 seconds into a battle, it will also increase haste by an extra 40. So yeah, this is all about long fights, which are going to last a whole 90-second duration, and that is basically Dream Realm and AFK stages. This is a charm quality bonus geared towards that. And Scarlita already had a little bit of use for AFK stages. This will make her a little bit better there. So it does suit her. However, I don't think it's enough for it. Definitely not for PvP. Okay, we have Dionel. So Dionel has not been very strong in our Chains of Eternity season, but in Waves of Intrigue, he was really good, and mainly because of his charm quality bonus he had, which gave him like invincibility on a fatal blow, and that gave him a lot of survivability. But this season, we don't have any faction talent that will provide him invincibility, and his charm quality bonus is also not going to give him invincibility. So he's still going to have survival issues, not going to be necessarily top tier. But let's take a look. Causes enemies hit to bleed for 5 seconds. The bleeding deals 50% attack multiplier physical damage per second, and reduces affected enemies' physical and magical defense by 12% until the effect expires. Increases the caster's attack by 5% for each bleeding enemy up to 25%. So definitely, Dionel will be able to apply his bleed onto all enemies. He has a lot of AoE damage, and he can get up to that 25% bonus attack early on in the fight, which of course is good for him. It probably also will count as an intoxication stack, and that will power him up even further, and it will just increase his damage output. And the defense shred, it can be a little bit useful for his own damage, because he does have high physical damage multipliers, and if anyone else on the team has high physical and magical damage, it can be a little bit useful. But overall, still the survival is a problem with Dionel, so I don't think he's going to be top tier, but this is not a bad charm quality bonus. It is pretty well suited for him. Okay, we have everyone's favorite, the twins, who of course is always going to see a lot of use for Dream Realm this season. Now, as for their charm quality bonus, at Mythic increases an ally's haste by 30 and their physical and magical defense by 25%, so a defensive buff, for 5 seconds when healing or shielding them. This is unstackable. So healing will be going off by the Stellar Bond of the Twins. That will periodically heal allies on the Stellar Bond, and then they will be provided with this boosted haste of 30 and also a tanky physical and magical defense buff. Now, the physical and magical defense buff is not as useful for Dream Realm, where you kind of would prefer to have more offensive buffs, but the 30 haste is going to be useful. Now, all in all, this season, the Twins are going to give incredible haste to your team. Their ultimate gives 60 haste and 76 if you give ultimate power onto them. Their legendary plus hero focus ability gives up to 15 haste to allies, and now this is going to give 30 haste. Like, on their own, they're going to be giving over 100 haste, well over 100 haste to your allies on the Stellar Bond, which is crazy. Apart from this, also whenever they shield an ally, and they have one skill that will apply a shield onto an ally, or even can be off the Stellar Bond, and that ally can then also get the benefit of these buffs. So overall, definitely a decent charm quality bonus. It is going to increase their damage by giving them haste. That lowers their cooldown, and they can cycle more quickly for Dream Realm content. And the physical and magical defense, that's mainly just for tankiness. For PvP, I can see that being useful, maybe even for AFK stages, but generally even for both of those modes, damage is usually going to be a little bit better. Like if it gave like 25% attack along with that haste, that would be, in my opinion, way more crazy compared to a defensive buff, but it's fine. Okay, now we have Dunlingr, and Dunlingr is going to be getting a Supreme Plus skill upgrade this season. We don't know what it will be, but already Dunlingr was pretty meta. So the fact that he's getting buffed is kind of like, it was kind of like not really expected, and people were scratching their heads as to why is Dunlingr actually getting buffed. But anyway, Mythic Charm quality bonus. When a battle starts, the first time the caster's health ratio drops below 50%. So there are two procs. When the battle begins and when Dunlingr drops below 50% health, on both instances, he's going to gain a 60% of his own health shield, which is massive, which will last for 6 seconds. Each time this effect triggers, it will increase the caster's physical and magical defense by 30%, making him tankier. And when gaining the shield for the first time, he will become unaffected for that initial, until the shield expires. This is really strong, because Dunlingr's biggest weakness is being able to be killed quickly, because then his Bell of Order is going to end prematurely, and he might not be able to get off his maximum value. But this is going to give him exactly the survival he needs in order to be even more of a nuisance. So in Supreme Arena, I think Dunlingr is going to be even more powerful this season. And once we get his Supreme Plus skill upgrade, probably even better. Okay, so finally we have Talene, who is another fan favorite. A lot of people do have Talene built on her account. She has a really good Mythic Charm quality bonus this season. Increases non-normal attack damage by 15% and converts 40% of that damage into true damage. If the damage is already true damage, causes the target to lose health equal to 10% of the damage dealt. Now, the initial part is what I think is going to be applicable and applying for Talene, which is that non-normal attack damage, including her ultimate, which is her major damage source, is going to be boosted by 15%, and 40% of all of that damage is going to be dealt as true damage, which is crazy. This is very similar to the Waves of Intrigue charm quality bonus that Talene had to give her true damage on her ultimate as well. This is a powerful effect. Now, the next line, if the damage is already true damage, I think this is only applying to heroes who have true damage already in their kit, which Talene doesn't. All of Talene's skills are just raw, regular damage multipliers. There is no true damage in it. But basically for those heroes, I don't know exactly if any way it would be possible to apply to Talene or not, but basically there's going to be some way of lose health damage, which sounds like HP per second damage. That is usually when they word it by lose HP or HP loss damage. That usually means HP per second damage, for example, from Phraesto, from Ludovic, which is really effective in endless Dream Realm bosses. So I don't know if there will be any way to convert Talene's damage into this lose health damage, or if this is only applying to heroes who already have true damage on their skill multipliers already. But this is going to be interesting to test, and it could even, if it is possible, it would be potential even for it to be good for endless bosses. But even without all of that, the true damage conversion and boosted ultimate damage, this is going to make her good for pre-endless Dream Realm bosses, and I'm sure she's going to see some use in pre-endless. Okay guys, so now we're going to move on to the Hypogean heroes, so we'll lead it off with Berial, which is a very underused hero other than a couple times in AFK stages. When a battle starts, increases a caster's attack by 40% and haste by 40 for 8 seconds. That is a massive offensive buff. Each time the caster assists or defeats a non-summon enemy, the effect will refresh its duration and extend it by 8 seconds. Meanwhile, the caster will gain a 200% attack multiply shield, lasting for 8 seconds. Which is going to be around maybe a 25% health shield if I had to predict it. So this is good for Berial. It's going to increase his offensive capabilities, and for PvP specifically, because it's really only in PvP where within the first 8 seconds you're going to be able to get a kill and be able to refresh the duration of this and basically prolong this massive attack and haste boost. So I think for PvP, this is a pretty decent charm quality bonus. But the thing is, Berial is just not, in my opinion, a top tier PvP hero because there's so many other great options to run. Okay, moving on to Kulu. Kulu is, of course, going to be a major hero this season because she's a new hero. She seems to have good use for potentially AFK stages and PvP. Let's take a look at her quality bonus. She has the same quality bonus as Dionel, as we saw, which is going to bleed the enemies whenever she deals damage to them. And she deals AoE damage, so she's easily going to apply bleed to all enemies. This is going to boost her attack by up to 25% and also reduce the defenses of the opponents to further amplify her own damage and damage from other sources on the team. And the bleeding will also deal damage per second to enemies. So overall, this is good. It really synergizes with the fact that she is an AoE damage dealer. Now she's going to be coming with a debuff, like a defense shred. And she already has her own explosive debuff to increase the damage that enemies take when she lands that onto the opponents. So she's going to be good for AFK stages, PvP with this charm quality bonus, and probably even Ravage Run, maybe even some boss content. So overall good and solid charm quality bonus for Kulu, but it doesn't give her survival, so she still has that issue for PvP where survival is going to be a problem. Okay, next up we have Harak, who is of course very important of a hero. His mythic charm quality bonus is going to be the same as Scarlita, so yeah. Scarlita has her work cut out for her. If Harak, who is already one of the best damage dealers, is going to have the same charm quality bonus as Scarlita herself, this is a really powerful effect, and honestly, is going to make him a pretty meta hero this season again. Increases damage dealt by 20% at base, and by an extra 10% every 10 seconds, and for Dream Run, which is where he's specializing, as well as AFK stages. This is very effective, and up to a total of 100% damage boost increase. Already he's ramping up his attack so much by getting the kill stacks, and now he's going to have massive damage boost as well. And after 60 seconds in the battle, increases his haste by an extra 40. That is also used for AFK stages, because you guys know that in high deficit stages, the way that Harak gets kills is he just has that instant defeat, devour onto enemies, but that is on like a 14-second cooldown or whatever it is, and this haste is going to lower the cooldown of that ability 60 seconds into the battle, so he's going to be even better for AFK stages as well. Okay, next up we have Cryonaia. So Cryonaia, we're going to have to see, is she going to have good use for pre-endless Dream Run bosses? There is some potential there. And even in endless bosses, she usually is using 1 or 2 of all of the top boss teams. So she does have some use there. For AFK stages, she's also relatively useful for the high deficit level teams. There are quite a lot of formations using her as well. Let's take a look at her charm quality bonus. When a battle starts, gains 120 haste. That is massive. 120 haste is 120% bonus attack speed, and like it is more than having all of the cooldowns on your skills, and this is lasting for 15 seconds. The haste buff decreases by 8 per second. Okay, so it is gonna decelerate over time. While the haste bonus is active, also increases energy recovery by 20% and damage dealt by 25%. This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous, and it's so perfectly suited for her, because what does Cryonaia want to do above all else? You wanted to cast her ultimate. And for PvP specifically, when Cryonaia casts her ultimate, it's basically game over for your team. It's very difficult for you to come back if Cryonaia gets an ultimate off, because that's usually killing and actually instantly defeating 3 of the allies on your team. So the fact that while she has this 15 seconds of haste boost, she's also going to have boosted energy recovery by 20% and also boosted damage dealt. When she casts her ultimate, she's going to have the 25% bonus damage dealt. She's just going to shred everything. So she's looking like a force to be reckoned with. I really think this is going to be a season where she is going to dominate in PvP, mainly because of the Guardian artifact that we talked about in the when we reviewed all the new artifacts we're going to be getting this season. You guys can take a look at that video. But yeah, that Guardian artifact provides her basically the survival she needs, that you will not be able to kill the Cryonaia until she can cast her ultimate, and then she's gonna go off. And the only kind of way to counter is going to be Dunlingr. So Dunlingr is going to be like getting higher value this season as well. So Cryonaia is looking busted. But not for PvE content, mainly for PvP content. That is where this is going to be her season to shine. Okay. So now we have Reinier. Reinier, interesting. Increases attack by 30% and defense. Okay, so he has basically the best supportive charm quality bonus for this season, for providing offensive buffs to an ally. Increases attack by 30% and defense penetration by 30. That increases your damage output for all of your raw damage multipliers. For the ally, place one tile behind the caster, whether that is Odie, whether that is Harak, whichever, Sinbad, whatever that hero is. After that ally assists or defeats a non-summon enemy for the first time, further increases their attack by 18%. So for Dream Realm content, you're not going to be able to trigger this effect. You're not going to be able to defeat any non-summon enemy. However, for PvP, this is going to be useful. But like Reinier is pretty good in PvP as well. So I kind of wish that there would be some way to trigger this bonus attack even in Dream Realm. But it looks like that is not going to be the case. But even without that, the fact that he has a high attack boost and also defense penetration for an ally behind him, this is going to make Reinier very strong this season as an even better support, basically damage amplifier for your team. For Dream Realm and for pre-endless Dream Realm bosses, there is no doubt Reinier is going to be in almost all of the top comps like he always is. Okay, finally, last but not least, definitely not least, we have Phraesto. In the previous season, or Chains of Eternity season, he had the taunting related charm bonus, which was not really that important. Let's see what he has this season. Mythic weakens enemy within 2 tiles every 5 seconds, reducing their attack by 20% and their physical and magical defense by 20% for 10 seconds. I'm much more interested in offensive debuffs, which are the physical and magical defense shred, because Phraesto's main use is Dream Realm, of course. And if you can reduce the defenses of the Dream on boss, that can increase the damage from other sorcerer on your team, whether they be Sinbad, Sonya, whoever else you're running the Phraesto with. So this is going to further enhance your damage output for Dream Realm. And yeah, this is very useful, reducing their attack by 20%. And also, like, for example, Indris is going to take advantage of these debuffs onto the enemy. Like, he just needs 3 debuffs, and then he has his exposed weakness active. Not necessarily Indris is actually going to be that good for Dream Realm, but I'm just saying, basically, there are heroes who benefit from a lot of debuffs stacking onto the opponent. Attack reduction, that can help your survival as well when that is needed. And this effect immediately triggers when the caster is defeated. Overall, this is I really like this charm quality bonus, much better than the one we had for the Chains of Eternity season for Phraesto. This is a bit more of an offensive option to increase damage in Dream Realm, and also it is a useful debuff for whether you're doing AFK stages, attack down, or whether even PvP. So overall, I'm happy with Phraesto's charm quality bonus. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for the Celestial and Hypogean Heroes charm quality bonus for Season 4. Let me know what you guys thought about all of these. Were there any points that I failed to mention? Please feel free to let me know in the comment section. But overall, I'm pretty excited. Definitely Harak, Reinier, Phraesto, Cryonaia is going to be crazy for PvP. And then as for the Celestial Hypogeans, Talene is looking good. Dunlingr is looking insane for PvP. Twins, overall, solid, and Athalia, even more potential for damage output in PvP. So those are the major ones that I'm really kind of impressed with their charm quality bonus. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store for AFK Journey. There will be a link to that in the description of this video and also a pinned comment. That is the best way that you can support me at no extra cost to you. But thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.